Hello, lovers and people who love Mark Major here, real big toy collector, action figure photography. Started up sometime around the 2007, 2008. Made my first Twitter account 2010 to display action figures. You couldn't even post pictures on Twitter at that time. You had to have a third-party app called TwitPic. I've been doing this for a while. Some could say I'm a geezer, and now I'm here to use my wisdom and experience and help you, the next generation, navigate the world of action figures. Today, I'm going to be going through my top 5 picks of what I would like to see the Hasbro team, right, reissue or bring back in kind of a Quentin Tarantino, John Travolta type manner. Which 5 action figures from the legacy collection of 4-inch guys to be brought back into the 6-inch classified line. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I would love it if you guys stick around. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, folks, is you're going to want to go to this website called Yo Joe. Let's bring it up. Oh, look at that. And on this website, they've got the G.I. Joe database, which you can go through all the different toys and vehicles, etc. They've got everything here, and they've got pictures of it. And let me tell you, the amount of data on here is amazing, mind-boggling, and in some ways overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through sort of 5 figures that are, you know, from a long time ago, 80s into the 90s, that came out as little 4-inch guys that I think the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classifieds team should bring back. And I think if you see what I'm suggesting, I think some of you are probably going to be on board with these picks as well, and maybe one day we'll see them get made. Okay, so my first pick is actually, we're going to say it's technically 2 figures. There's going to be a G.I. Joe guy, and then he's going to have a Cobra equivalent, but it's all going as my number 5 pick. So what is lacking in the G.I. Joe Classified team is more aquatic characters, more people of the sea, like frogmen and, you know, scuba guys and that kind of thing. And so we're going to start with this dude, Deep Six. Check him out. Let's punch him up. Look at this guy. He's in like the sort of the full-blown kind of, you know, Bioshock-looking suit. And he doesn't look at the face. He's not unhappy because he's trapped. He feels secure and safe. Now, I think this guy would be clutch to bring back because with the new tooling and sort of the, you know, new approach to making figures, I think they could really, really make this guy cool. But here's the thing. This guy originally came in this. He was a vehicle driver for this thing called the Shark. It's some kind of like a submarine type thing. Now, check this out. The guy who would also kind of be his antithesis on Cobra is going to be this dude, Sea Slug. Let's see what this guy looks like all geared up. Yeah, look at him. Look at this dude. So this guy is kind of the sort of the submarine driver for the Cobra guys, and he came in this, right? He came in this vehicle, the Cobra Sea Ray. Now, what I think they could do is they could do some kind of a blend between this and the Shark. They could use the same mold, but they could do 2 different decos. They could paint one up for G.I. Joe for Deep Six. They could paint one up for Cobra for Sea Slug. And for those of you that don't think I'm a real big toy fan, check it out. I've got an original Sea Slug right here. And yes, he is purple. Who would think of making anything like that? Okay, let's move on to my number 4 pick. Check this dude out. Whoa, hold on. This is Pathfinder. He's a jungle guy, so he's, you know, sort of you know, kind of like over-the-top camo, that kind of thing. And if we get another picture of him here, right, you can see he's got these really kind of cool, fruity camouflage pants. He's got the vest. He's got that hat that kind of flips up. It's sort of like, you know, Jesse Ventura's character in Predator. Now, here's what's going to make this guy clutch in a perfect world, right? We have seen that whenever they do a figure who comes with a pet, comes with a familiar, right? Like Freedom and Spirit, the Native American guy and the eagle, or Crocmaster who comes with the crocodile, it seems to do really well. People seem to like it. So this guy, in my opinion, should come with some sort of a jungle cat, right? Some kind of a panther or something. And I think what would be the coolest thing they could do would be to make it like a totally black spotted leopard, right? But you do the body in a satin finish, or excuse me, you do it in a matte finish, right? And then you put black spots in a glossy finish. And so you wouldn't actually really be able to see it until you kind of like moved it in the light, that sort of thing. So this is my number 4 pick, Pathfinder. And we just need some sort of jungle recon, if you ask me. Okay, my number 3 pick, check this out. This is something that that G.I. Joe series did in the 80s and the 90s. Is they did all these military guys, right, and that kind of stuff, but then they started bringing in sort of characters, sort of goofballs, and I really feel like G.I. Joe Classifieds needs a little bit of that goofball. And so check this out. This is the guy that I'm pitching. His name is Headman. Now I'm going to bring him up so you can see. Look at this guy, okay? And you're probably thinking, I don't understand. What is this? Well, let's look at the card, and once you see the picture, you'll kind of get a better idea of this character. Okay, you see him right there? So he's this sort of generic Chicago gangster, cliche, stereotype, Godfather, mafia, mob boss guy. He's got the pinstripe suit, he's got the gangster hat, he's got the Zorro mask, that kind of thing. I think that this would be a really cool pick because I think they could do a suit really well, a pinstripe suit. I don't know that he's gold here. I don't know if I do gold. I'd do kind of a gray. But and the hat would be removable, that kind of thing. I wouldn't do the mask. I think the mask is a bit fruity, right? But it does make him gangster, right? So I would definitely do this guy, but I would also, because making toys is all about reusing the molds and different decos to make variations, I would make a second guy that uses the same mold, but what I would do is I would do some type of a black exploitation pimp character. I would do a guy who's black, and I'd put him in the exact same suit, but I would make it kind of cool, sort of 70s pimpin' purple and blue, and he'd have a cool pimp hat, that kind of thing. That way you would reuse it, you get 2 different characters out of it, and, I don't know, this guy is supposedly like a bad guy because his, he's kind of a, he's a drug kingpin, and maybe he is a drug kingpin, or maybe the way these things work is bad guys eventually turn and become good guys. Maybe he's like starts working with them, that kind of thing. So this is my number 3 pick for what they should bring back. It's a bit fruity, but I think we need fruity. Okay, now we're gonna move on, and I want to tell you guys that one of my picks was originally going to be this guy, Big Boa. Right, you can see I have an original here, but G.I. Joe Classifieds are actually announced just recently that they're doing a Big Boa. So, okay, check this off the list. Who should we do instead? Well, check this guy out. This is Big Bear. Look at this guy. Look at this wild man. All right, what do you think of this? Right, he's some kind of a Ruski. Kind of a Soviet to Russian. He's got the red star, he's got the beard, he's kind of the, comrade kind of thing. I think we need sort of a dude like this. We need some kind of international flavoring. Russia's sort of in the news all the time. You just, maybe this guy's a good guy, maybe he's a bad guy, maybe he's third party, he's not Cobra, he's not G.I. Joe, he's, some sort of middle gang, that kind of thing. Let's see if they have a picture of his card here. Yeah, so you see he's just sort of this kind of an angry guy who's on the front. He's kind of looks a little maybe like he might be Norwegian or Finnish, Maybe that might be the way to make Big Bear sort of bring him in. Maybe remove the red star and you know, make him some sort of Scandahoovian dude. I don't know. But I would like to say that I do in fact have original Big Bear right here, and he just sits in a drawer all day. He needs some love, guys, and I think a G.I. Joe Classified 6-inch figure of this dude would be fab-tastic. Okay, now we're going to move on to my final pick here. And I don't want to freak anybody out because so far, I mean, if you've seen the characters I've pulled out, they're all winners. I mean, let's be honest. But G.I. Joe, are there really any losers? Check this guy out. Edmund Honda, right? What is this dude? He's a big naked dude in a loincloth. He's a sumo wrestler. Let's get a look at this dude. I do not have one of these. If you think I'm going to flash the camera, I don't. If you have one and want to send it to me, I would accept. But otherwise, I'm okay. You don't really need to send me anything. So this guy, I think that this would be really interesting. I think this kind of flavor is lacking. We get things like ninjas, we get samurai, but we don't have anything like this. You need a strong man, a big sort of muscle guy. Anyone ever watch the Venture Brothers? In the Venture Brothers, they have this, you know, current team of Dr. Venture, his bodyguard, and his 2 sons. But then he has a father who, you know, previously in kind of the 60s, had his own sort of team of guys, and on his team was a big sumo dude. And so this would be clutch. But check this out. Here's how I would do this. One guy is going to be a G.I. Joe, and he's going to have this kind of look with the big sumo, and he's going to have the red kind of sumo diaper or whatever that is, and whatever appropriate, you know, head sculpt, they'll do the right thing. But again, you want to reuse the molds as much as possible. You make a Cobra guy and you give him the blue diaper and pop a different head on, use the same sumo thing. That way you can have a couple sumo dudes who fight each other. I think that would be just absolutely fantastic. So that is my pick for 5 of the old school G.I. Joe figures from the original line with the rubber bands in them, right, that I think would be great as G.I. Joe Classifieds, based upon things that we haven't seen, based upon things that I think are missing from the line and that we just need to add that kind of extra flavor, that extra seasoning to it. And I think it would be a lot of fun. Now, before we wrap this video, what I would love to hear from you, the casual viewer who has popped in on this video, leave a comment on which figure you think would be your pick for a bring back to the G.I. Joe Classified line. Of course, you go to the Yo Joe site, you can scroll through there, you can see every figure ever that's come out, front, back, side, what the carded, what the thing is, and put it in the comments. And I want to hear from you and hear what you have to say. And there's a chance that the best answer might win a Screen Junkies t-shirt. No, just kidding about that. I've got my own t-shirts and you might win one. And more on that a little bit later. But for now, I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.